Greetings. Welcome back. Let's listen together to this statement.
Schizophrenia, a mental disorder, sometimes known as multiple or split personality, characterized by loss of touch with environment and alternation between violent and contrasting behavior patterns.
This is the introduction of a movie called Schizo. It's a British film which was produced in 1976. Unfortunately, it doesn't star any of the well-known British actors like, for example, Sean Connery or Michael Caine. Instead, it has a number of actors and actresses that, to be honest, I haven't seen before and I don't personally know. But before we go into the movie, let's go back to the statement that we heard in the opening of the film. The narrator mentions that schizophrenia is also known as multiple personality disorder. An important part that we have to highlight is that schizophrenia is not multiple personality disorder. In fact, the two disorders are completely different. Schizophrenia is basically a disorder that impacts the perception, the thought, the mood, and the emotions. It's a chronic illness and is not characterized by a new identity taking over the individual. Yes, they might have delusions, sometimes bizarre delusions, but they never think that they are a different personality or they act as if they are a completely different individual. Multiple personality disorder, which is called in the DSM-5 dissociative identity disorder, is a different disorder which involves dissociation. So, as we talked about in the last film, when we reviewed Primal Fear and we defined multiple personality disorder, we did mention that the individual dissociates, creating a new entity or a new individual, a completely different, a distinct personality, as a mean to escape certain trauma. So that's what I really didn't like about the beginning of this film, the fact that he comes in, the narrator, and gives this sort of inaccurate information. He also speaks about impaired reality testing. He mentions it as impaired reality with the environment. That is correct in schizophrenia. Something we call reality testing. We all have it, which gives us the capabilities of differentiating between what is real and what is an imagination, a dream. Those people with schizophrenia often have impaired reality testing, and hence they might believe something that is completely false, but to them it is reality. So, in essence, they lose the capability of differentiating between what is real and what is imagination. He also talks about schizophrenic patient becoming violent. Now, this is a very important part that I have to highlight. Schizophrenic patients are not generally violent. They are not more prone to be criminal than the rest of the population. That is something we have to know. Do they become aggressive? Yes. They might have episodes of aggression. They might have episodes of irritability, which is usually related to their false beliefs and thoughts. For example, if we have a paranoid delusional individual, he might act on his delusions. He believes that, for example, his neighbors are spying on him, which is not true, but for him it is a reality. So he might sort of retaliate with aggression or sometimes with negative behaviors. Again, not consequently leading to crime, like, for example, a murder or something like that. Are there cases that can cause murder? Yes, there are, but they are very rare. So again, I don't want, a lot of people have the misconception that schizophrenic patients are dangerous and can commit crimes. That is not true. Yes, we have to deal with them with caution, but often schizophrenic patients are harmless and they can be de-escalated with proper management, proper conversation and communication. I always say communication is key. Usually when we see someone who is a bit paranoid, deluded, or acting a little bit bizarre, we retaliate in a very similar manner. So sometimes we become aggressive ourselves, which will escalate the situation. If we come and sit and talk nicely to the individual with schizophrenia, most likely we can reach a point where we can compromise. Now, again, I have to say a lot of our schizophrenic patients lack insight, meaning they don't believe they have an illness. And so talking to them, trying to convince them and confront them about their delusions doesn't usually work, because to them it is an absolute reality. Let's go back to the movie. So it's produced in 1976, as I mentioned. It stars an actress named Lynn Frederick. She's a British actress. Again, I haven't seen her before in any other projects. She plays a young bride named Samantha, who gets married in the movie actually, and notices that she is being stalked by an individual, an older gentleman named Haskins, again played by another individual who I don't know. His name is Jack Watson, this actor. I think I've seen him in some older TV shows, British TV shows, but again, I don't know him that well. So Samantha believes that he is stalking her and he wants to kill her or cause her harm. Now, Haskins, when the movie first starts, I like that about the film. It sort of confuses you a bit about who is the schizophrenic patient. Is it Haskin, this older guy who is stalking this younger woman? Does he have some sort of delusion of grandeur that she is in love with him? Sometimes there are these type of delusions where an individual believes that a very famous person or even someone younger than them is in love with them, which isn't true, of course. They call it erotomania.
Who is this?
Did you get my present? I left it by the wedding cake for you, Jean. I've got a lot more presents for you, Jean.
Look, I don't know who you are, but if you phone me again, I'm going to call the police.
Who's that, Mother?
No, no, just some nutcase.
So is Haskins the schizophrenic patient? And then the movie spirals in, and then it makes us think that maybe Samantha is the schizophrenic patient because she's very paranoid. She believes he's trying to harm her and kill her. Are these accusations true? She loses control. She goes to her husband. She speaks to him. She complains to him, telling him that she's being stalked. Obviously, he doesn't believe her. She goes to her relatives. Even her psychiatrist doesn't believe that she is being stalked. He tells her that this is just a normal reaction to her coping skills to a new life and getting married and all of that.
Excuse me, miss.
So the movie actually surprised me. It was much better than I expected, despite lacking famous British actors or any actors for that matter. Again, don't get me wrong, the acting is average, nothing special there. But again, the script, the writing was intact. But the movie's title is Schizo, meaning schizophrenia. However, the individual is actually suffering from multiple personality disorder, dissociative personality disorder, and not schizophrenia, and that's where the movie got it wrong. In summary, yes, go ahead. If you're into British classical cinema, that's a very good one. Decent acting, but I liked how it's very heavy when it comes to mental illness, despite the misinformation. Until the next time.